हरिः ॐ मातृदेवोभ्यो नमः पितृदेवेभ्यो नमः आचार्यदेवेभ्यो नमः अतिथिदेवेभ्यो नमः. As always, we start this KP story time by offering my prayers to my parents, my guru, and the guests here. Welcome to KP Story Time. It's again a Wednesday. Today is my mother's sixth death anniversary. I miss her a lot. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I miss her a lot. She's one of the two females who have changed my life, who have guided me, who have given me all the knowledge, the goals, and the meaning of life. So, in between, I might be recalling my experiences with my mom and the learnings that she has given to me while going through the story of Rama. So, Wednesday, we discuss Ramayana, Rama's biography, written by sage Valmiki. Sita, Rama, and Lakshmana have gone to forest for 14 years as per the wish of Kaikeyi and the boons given to her by Dasaratha. While they were in the forest, they were living in one place called Janasthanam, which was fully occupied by demons. And as you remember, the incarnation of Rama was to get rid of all the demons. So he had to be in that place. Ravana kidnapped Sita, and Rama, Lakshmana, they started searching for her. Dasaratha's friend Jatayu, she fought with Ravana to save Sita, but Jatayu had his both wings cut. He was on the deathbed when Rama and Lakshmana met him. He told them the first clue that Ravana has taken Sita, and he also told them that he went south. He has given the direction. He has told him who has kidnapped. It becomes easy. While they got this information, Jatayu died. Here, Rama performed his final rites also. And they started moving towards south. Even though Rama got all that information, he was missing Sita so much that he still was blaming Lakshmana for leaving her alone in the forest. At one point, he says she was angry, she was having anxiety, and she wanted to make sure that I am safe. And when she said something wrong to you, why did you take it so seriously? When I told you to take care of her, you should not have left her. You have not followed my instructions. Does Rama have any doubt about Lakshmana's intentions? Lakshmana has always proved that Rama is first, Rama is before him. If that is the case, how come Rama started blaming Lakshmana for Sita's disappearance? One thing to understand, when we are in distress, when we are unhappy, we always try to find someone to blame. We may be, so let's look at each side. Let's say we are in distress and we are in a bad mood. That's when we have to remember this story and then say we should not be blaming anyone. It had to happen. Whatever we could have done, we could have done. But we tend to blame. That's when your triggering point should come up and then say, do not blame anyone for the situation. Understand the situation and try to find a solution for the situation. Get out of the situation. But though Rama is the incarnation of Vishnu, still this is an evidence to show that he was living like a human being. He was having all the feelings of human being. So one part is, if you are about to blame someone for any situation, stop. All of a sudden that red flag should flash before you and then say, I'm not going to blame anyone. Secondly, if we are on the other side, someone is blaming us and we know we have not done anything wrong, what is the point in confronting them? We know they are already distressed. If at all we can, we have to help that other person to come out of that distress. Lakshmana did the same thing. Lakshmana never said, brother, how can you say like this? I left my wife in Ayodhya. I came along. I said, there is no life for me without you. And I've been serving you for so many years in this uh, forest. And I've never slept here. I've never eaten anything. 24 by 7, I was taking care of you. And still, how can you blame me like this? He never said that. Instead, he understood which situation Rama was going through. So he started telling him, Rama, person like you, realize what it needs to be done. Let's go. Let's search everywhere. If you get distressed, your brain stops working and we do not take right decisions. And I have all the confidence in you. You know you are the best. Just because you are getting carried away by the emotions, you are missing the point. You are not taking the right decision. He was calmly. We know Lakshmana is the most angry person of all the four brothers. If that is the case, that Lakshmana should have got right away anger, and then he should have said, Rama, enough is enough, I'm leaving. I was there with little Sita and I tried to protect her. Sita said, oh, you are eyeing me. If Rama dies, you are trying to marry me. That means I'm not going. So, but that will never happen. I will die, but I will never come into your arms. Who can listen that kind of a word? Lakshmana never said that again, saying that it was your fault, your wife's fault. I have been selfless here, and still you guys are blaming. He kept his anger out, he kept his calmness, and he started consoling Rama. How could he achieve that? Where there is love, there is no room for anger. Because Lakshmana has so much of unconditional love for Rama, he never took anything Rama said in a wrong way. In our relationships also, there will be so many situations when a word is said, it is conceived by the receiver in a different manner, and that person acts in a negative way. Instead, always put that love between any relationship. Automatically, you will get the positive meaning for any dialogue that happens between the two parties. So Lakshmana said, we know that Ravana has abducted her, and we know he is going towards south. So let's start walking towards south. Let's search everywhere. Let us not leave any place unverified. So here he's talking to Rama how to search for something that we are missing. Biography is not just saying some story, instead, each piece gives us how we have to behave. So he was telling him, Rama, let's go everywhere, around the water, around across the river, all the trees. Every place we go, search for her, make sure that we have not left any place, so that way we will find her. He induced confidence in Rama, and both of them started walking towards south. Suddenly they heard huge noise. They could not make out what was going on, and suddenly they saw huge two hands were stretched, and they were coming like this. They held, one of the hands held Lakshmana, pulled in. Then they saw a huge, you can say animal, human being, whatever it is. There was only the stomach, there was no head. And within the stomach only, he had, the creature had two eyes, a mouth, huge mouth. And he had huge, very lengthy arms. He held Lakshmana and he said, okay, why are you guys here? So with other hand, he held Rama also, and he started asking them, no human being comes here. Why are you here? Anyway, I'm going to kill you. So if you want to tell me something about yourself, please go ahead. His name is Kabandha. Hasta means hand. Kabandha Hasta means the hands of Kabandha. In our day to day world, if someone holds something very tightly and we are not able to take it out, we say, oh, this guy has Kabandha Hastas. This guy has Kabandha hands, which means very powerful, cannot let go anything. Once Kabandha gets something into his hands, he would never let go. And that's what he told them also, that you cannot get away from me, I will be eating you. All of a sudden, Lakshmana was so afraid. A scene before, he was telling Rama that you should be courageous, you should not be worried about something, don't think negatively, nothing. And he was inducing confidence in Rama. As soon as Kabandha held him, he lost all his confidence. That's what happens in our lives too. It's like a sine curve. Good days, bad days, good days, bad days, and they go on. If we realize that, and we can easily tell someone how to behave in a situation, and we can easily give suggestions to them. But when it comes to us, we cannot keep it up. At that point, we have to remember, oh, we have told that person like that. Why am I behaving in this manner? Immediately, Lakshmana started saying, Rama, I'm going to die. I wanted to help you finding Sita. Just run away from this place. Somehow you get out of this place. Don't try to save me. Save yourself and get out. Go search for Sita and tell her my apologies that I could not come and search or I could not help you out, but just leave me here. Then it's Rama's turn. Rama said, Lakshmana, nothing to worry. Let's see what we can do here. Nature helps us. And then Kabanda said, I have been I'm an alien. I was very, very rich, and because of that, I had misbehaviors. One day, a sage cursed me to become like this, and then with these big arms, I can pull anything, even elephants, even bigger than that. I can pull them and eat them. So you cannot go bypass. I mean, you cannot get out of my hands. Then Rama says, Rama tells Lakshmana that let's cut his hands. Before he eats us, let's cut his hands. So both of them cut his hands, the long hands, which means Kabanda cannot live any further because he was surviving with his hands. He was able to reach anything and then pull it, eat it. If that is not there, he does not have legs, he does not have hands, he does not have a head. How can he eat? Kabanda knows about it and then he says, oh, I realize you are Rama. Because when he was cursed, he asked the sage for apology. He said, I'm extremely sorry. And of course, I deserve this punishment. But when can I get out of this punishment? Never give an indefinite punishment to anyone. Then that sage said, you stay here, be alive. But when Rama and Lakshmana come here, they will cut your hands. That's when you know you will be getting your original body. So Kabanda says, please put me into fire so I can get rid of this body. I'll get my original body. Then I will help you to find Sita. Rama said, how do I believe you? If I do that and then you leave, tell me now itself. Then Kabanda says, as long as I am in this body, I do not have those special powers. Only when I leave this body, that's when I can get the superpowers and I can understand what happened and what is going to happen. I can tell you what are your next steps. So Lakshmana and Rama, they made a huge pit. They put a lot of, they got all the wood, they made fire, and they pushed Kabanda into it. As the body started burning, Kabanda came out with his previous very handsome body. Then He told Rama that Rama, Ravana has taken her south, but you cannot. This is very difficult place to search. So you go towards south, where you find a huge mountain which is called, I'm just blanking out on that. Anyway, Rishyamukha. Rishyamukha is the name of the mountain. He said there lives Sugriva. Sugriva. Griva is good head, and Sugriva means, I mean, Griva is head. Sugriva is a good head. So that means that person is a very good person. Not a person, he's a monkey. So he said, go and meet him. He is very, very powerful, but his elder brother is even more powerful. His elder brother has pushed him out of his throne. So go ahead, meet him. He has all the monkeys and other species under him. He will be able to help you out in searching Sita. And he also said that while you are going, you will see uh, Pampa Sarovaramu. Sarovaramu means lake. Pampa is the name. He said Pampa Lake. You will reach that lake. It's so beautiful. And he says there are so many trees with very tasty fruits. Lakshmana can get you that. And in that lake there are so many fish. Whatever you can eat, and then rest you offer the fish. And he started explaining the beauty of the place. Why would anyone say all of that? One way, Rama lost his wife and is searching for her, whereas this guy is saying that these are all the beautiful places here. The fruits are very tasty. You eat this fruit, you eat that fruit, and also how Lakshmana can collect those fruits. And then he says he can get water from that Pampa lake, which is very beautiful, very tasty water, and also offer fruits to the fish and all of that. That's because he wanted to distract Rama from Sita, the sorrow generated because of disappearance of Sita. If a kid falls down and he is injured, crying, what do? We try to distract that kid. We'll say, oh, look at that monkey. Did you see that? Oh, look at that, something going on the wall. Immediately the kid forgets about it and looks up. It works with any person of any age. When someone is in distress, try to distract that person with something else. That's what Kabanda was doing. He was giving him all the details and then said, oh, there are beautiful birds. They don't harm anyone. They're not afraid of human beings because human beings offer them food. And also, another angle. Imagine in this world, if trees die, all the trees die, nothing can survive. If all the animals die, nothing can survive because they're all interlinked. But if human beings die, nothing happens. The rest of the things will be flourishing very well. The houses that we are living in, they will be replaced by all the trees. There are trees which are hundreds of years old. So, what does it mean? We are really troubling this entire nature. The place that Rama and Lakshmana were about to enter was not open for human beings. And Kabandha was narrating how beautiful that place is. That again emphasizes the rule that we have to follow the nature rules. Plastic, it is not from the nature, it's chemical. Human created it, which cannot be destroyed naturally. Anything that nature has produced has its own way of exit, but not what man made. Styrofoam, plastic. Styrofoam can stay if you bury it in the ground. It can stay for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. Same with plastic. That's why I'm saying if we are not there, the entire nature flourishes. If any part of the nature is missing, we cannot live. Let's be let's take an oath that we will be living as per the guidelines of nature. Then he went aboard Kabanda with the permission of Rama. And before he left, he also told him that while you are going, there is one lady called Sabari. She is the disciple of sage Matanga. And Matanga has left this place. He went aboard, but he asked Shabari to wait for you and give you and take care of you. So please meet her while going. They went. Then Kabanda left. Rama Lakshmana started walking south. They met Shabari. Shabari told Rama that her guru told her to wait for Rama and Lakshmana, give give him food, take care of him, and after that she can come to the heaven. What does that mean? Everyone knows about Rama and Lakshmana, isn't it? In the previous weeks, we talked about at one place Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita were going to meet a Rishi. There, Indra, the leader of the gods, was there talking to that Rishi and telling him that Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita are coming, take care of them, and you have to advise them, all of that. That's where actually Sita saw Indra. Last week we were talking about how Sita tried to recognize Indra when Indra appeared before her in Asokavana. So they already know. Brahma was happy that Sita was abducted, and also he wanted to make sure that Sita was not dying. Our life is decided long time back. Which we don't understand. Even if we understand, somehow we get carried away. Imagine a guy was watching a movie 365 days, all the three shows. One day the theater owner asked him, Why? Why are you coming? Every show. Then he said, in one scene, the heroine was changing the dress, and just before she was becoming naked, a train comes. I'm coming to every show thinking that at least in one show the train will be delayed. I know you must be laughing there. Is it not stupidity? The picture was written, directed, and taken, and how many number of times you are going to watch it, the train will not be delayed. He can never see that heroine naked. Our life is also like that. It was already written. Long time back it was written, directed, and executed. All we are doing is experiencing it. There is nothing you can change. If you know that, all you will see is anything enjoyment. If there is something that is not enjoyable, you just say, yeah, this is it, it is supposed to happen and this will pass. The time will pass and we will get away from this one. And if there is an enjoyment, just enjoy it. When my mother passed away, I came to know that she had throat cancer and I wanted to be with her. We left everything here, we went back to India. While flying back, I was thinking, how can I see my mother pass? How can I see my mother suffering? But once I realized this piece, that this life is already been done, I have no control on it, I'm just experiencing it. Then I went there, I started preparing her for the next journey because the doctors have already said that 3.5 months, 3 months max, 2 months max. We tried all the specialists, lot of things we have done, but every one, at least we have gone to 4 or 5 specialists independently, and everyone gave the same opinion. So we knew that's going to happen. And if that is the case, the only option is preparing her mentally for the next journey. And in the meantime, I was also preparing myself. If I had not realized that this life is like a movie, I would have been carried away with my emotions. Those 3.5 months I was with her throughout, and those days, those memories I can never forget. That means Shabari's guru already knows that this entire story. So anyone associated with the movie knows what is the storyline, what will be the next piece, all of them, but they don't tell us what's happening, what will happen. Instead, they'll just give you a trailer and then say, fine, watch it on the screen. Similarly, here also, everywhere they were leaving some clues. They were telling Rama what would happen next. But Rama does not know what would happen in entirety. Whereas Sabari's guru knows that Rama and Lakshmana will be coming here while searching for Sita, and so he said, Shabari, please treat them as our guests, take care of them, and then you can leave this earth. Shabari showed them the entire ashrama, the place, and then she was narrating to them that here all the animals, whether they are lions, elephants, rabbits, all of them live so friendly, they don't harm each other. The nature is very beautiful here. That is because it was not contaminated by any human being having negative thoughts. She showed them where her guru was staying, where her guru was hanging his, drying his clothes, all of that. That means she, once she thought of a person as a guru, she was understanding, she could learn every bit of that guru, and she was remembering him most detailed manner, so she could recall all of that. She offers Rama and Lakshmana fruits, and then she says, Rama, it is time, I have to leave. Please give me permission. Rama says, okay, thank you so much for letting us know about your uh, guru and the importance of that. And I could feel the positive energy here. Why do you need to have good people around you? All positive thinking people around you is because automatically you will get that positive mode. And in that place, all the sages were having that positive energy, and they were generating positive energy in that place. So when Rama and Lakshmana went there, they felt very happy. They were relieved. Once Shabari left, Rama and Lakshmana started walking towards Rushyamukha. While going, it was already sprint. Again, Rama went back to his old mood, sorrowful mode. Yeah, I see the question here. It was an animal paradise. I would say it was nature's paradise. Everything flourished. So, when he saw the spring, he again started telling Lakshmana that I miss Sita. I, this fragrance. Sita loves this fragrance. Sita loves these flowers. When Sita was around with me, I enjoyed all these seasons. But the same season, I cannot bear it. Who is he talking to? Lakshmana, who left his wife in Ayodhya for Rama for the past so many years. He never complained about the seasons and all of that. Rama had his wife, he was having good time during all these seasons. All of a sudden she disappeared. Rama started complaining about it with Lakshmana and saying that, oh, this water, Sita loves it. And the sounds of these birds, Sita loves them. And without her, I don't have any life. I don't want to live. What is the point in living when I can't see her? I don't know whether I can see her again or not. He was behaving like a normal human being. Lakshmana could have said, what the heck are you talking, Anna? Brother, I do not have my wife with me for the past so many years. I never complain. You are my elder brother. How can you complain about it? Anytime someone is complaining, there is a way to work through that. Never contradict that person's thinking. Or never bring your own experiences into it. What is the goal? If you love the other person, get the person out of the situation, get the person out of that thinking process. And that can be done only by positive reinforcement. No negative thinking or negative wording or comparing the person with someone else, that would not help. So Lakshmana immediately said, Rama, think about yourself, how powerful you are, how you are above every human being here. Why are you losing your courage? If you lose your confidence, your brain does not work, you cannot take right decisions, you will not have your energy. Is it not? Don't we experience that? When we are very happy, we have a lot of energy. We can do anything. The moment we lose the confidence, we lose everything. I don't know if I've narrated this story previously, but excuse me if I'm repeating it. There was a king we call Ashtalakshmis. Ashtalakshmis, Lakshmi is the wealth, and wealth is not only currency, courage is also wealth. Wealth is also wealth. Then your property is wealth. Likewise, there are eight types of wealths. So one day, one Lakshmi came in and said, Raja, I don't want to stay with you, I'm leaving. Second one, he said, okay, thank you so much for being with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the last, and then he was asking, who are you? And that said, oh, I'm wealth, I'm prosperity, I'm uh, something like that. And when the last one appeared, she said, I'm the courage. Immediately he said, Mother, I can't leave you. Please stay back with me. Because if you are with me, I can get all other wealth, all other seven Lakshmis. If you are gone and seven Lakshmis are with me, I will be losing all of them. So please don't go from me. And she stays with him. He gets back all the remaining ones. Similarly, if we lose our confidence, we have no way to prosper. Always have confidence. That's what Lakshmana was telling Rama, that Rama, I always followed you. You are always my guru. But I'm sorry, now I will have to remind you what you have told me. Don't lose your confidence. Let's go. Let's search everywhere again. And then they started again. Then he refreshed Rama, and then he said, Rama, why don't we take bath in this Pampa lake? So they took bath. Always, if you are not energized, if you are tired, taking shower will get back you your wealth. Sorry, the you will be refreshed. When we are in depression, we don't feel like talking to anyone. We don't feel like getting out of the couch. We don't feel like eating, or maybe we'll be eating more. At that point, we have to realize this is the country, especially the Northwest, is the place where we have so many depression cases. That's because the weather is such. Weather is always gloomy most of the time. Some days we don't even see sun here. And that's when, if we see such symptoms within ourselves or if we see those symptoms in anyone else, immediately we have to realize that all the entire house should be lit, and take shower, start reading books, get out of the house, all of that. Or at least have a very good friend around so that he or she will be able to cheer you up. Rama was in the same situation. They were in such a huge forest which is totally dark, covered by the trees. There was no way the sun rays were flowing through those huge trees. That means it was so gloomy place, and Rama was losing his confidence. That's when Lakshmana told him and he cheered him. Then they started walking towards Rishyamukha. While they were going towards that mountain, Sugriva happened to come that side, saw these two. He ran back to his place, his cave, and he was so afraid. He was afraid because he thought these two people are the spies of his older brother Wali. He lost his confidence again. He was running all over the place. And because the king himself was in such a dire state, rest of his army was also losing confidence. They were jumping from one tree to the other tree, making all trying to find hiding places and all of that. Then his ministers came, four ministers. They came to Sugriva, and one of the ministers is Hanuma. Hanuma is the monkey god that we worship. He was very intelligent. He stopped Sugriva. Said, Sugriva, you are behaving like a normal person, normal monkey. You're jumping all around. And because of you, everyone is getting panic here. Why are you so afraid? This Matanga Vanam, the Matanga place, Wali cannot enter because Matanga has given him a curse. So, Wali cannot come here. Why are you worried about it? Why are you so afraid? Then Sugriva gets calmed down. But he tells Hanuma that Hanuma, Wali cannot come here, but Wali's spies can come here. Look at those two people. They look so handsome, they have weapons with them, and they are walking in. No human being can enter this place, which means these two people, these two human beings are coming here, and by looking at them itself, we can say they are very powerful. So Wali must have sent them as spies. They are going to kill us. We are all going to die. What is the worst fear we always have? I might die. Do you know what happens after the death? If the soul is in the body, as long as the soul is in the body, you touch fire, you touch something, heat, cold, all those senses are there. Once that soul gets out, this body has no senses. It can be put on fire, it can be put on the ice block. So, why do we worry about after what if I die? If you die, it's gone. You're out of all the misery. There is no pain. That's what I was telling my mom too. She was 82 at that time, and she had, due to the blood pressure, high blood pressure, she lost eyesight on one of the eyes. She lost eyesight, and her hand had a fracture, so it was a little weird shape, and her her she was having blood sugar, blood pressure, and then the body was also getting so weakened. She was getting leg pains and all of that. So my argument, my thinking was to her was, Mom, this each limb is giving up. You are ready for a new body. If you leave this body, the soul will take another body. You may have your most favorite dress. You will wear it. Every day you wear it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. At some point, the dress will get old and it starts tearing off. You may stitch one place, two places, three places, and then the entire shirt, entire dress is filled with the stitches only. Then what would you say? I don't want this dress. Let me buy a new one. You happily throw this one, even though that was one of your, I mean, even though that was your favorite dress, you just throw it off and get a new one. The soul also does the same thing. It uses this most favorite body all the way, and when the body is not able to support it, it leaves. Why to worry about it? So Hanuman told Sugriva, the moment you are afraid of death, you are afraid of everything. Always think, what is the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is death, and after death, I don't even know what happens. So why should I worry about it? If I have billions of dollars loan and I know I'm going to die tomorrow, will I be worried about the loan? I'd say after my death, it's gone, gone. So one of the reasons for the depression also worried about what we do not know and are what we have no control on. So get out of that thinking process. Hanuma told Sugriva the same thing. Get away from that thinking process. Let's start thinking rationally. Wali cannot come here, and you are as powerful as Wali. So even if he sends two people, you can tackle them. The only difference between Wali and Sugriva is that Wali has a boon. Anyone who comes in front of him to fight him, he gets 50% of the energy from his opponent. He himself was very powerful. Above that, he will get 50% of the opponent's power. So no one can beat him. That's why Sugriva was not able to win over Wali. We'll talk about what happened between them. Why that animosity? Until now, we talked about four brothers, Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrugna, who are like one soul, four bodies. They're all Vishnu incarnations. That's one type of brothers. The next type of brothers we'll be talking is Wali and Sugriva. Wali and Sugriva were very close to each other. Sugriva always followed Wali. Wali married Tara and Sugriva married uh, anyway, I'll get that name. Married. Both were married. Wali was the king and Sugriva was serving him. One day, a powerful demon challenged Wali to fight him. They both started fighting. Sugriva also followed him. Finally, Wali and that demon, they go into a cage, a long cage, and they were fighting inside. Lot of blood was flowing out. Days passed, and Sugriva did not know what was going on inside. And he thought, if Wali is gone, if Wali died, or if the other demon won over Sugriva, I mean won over Wali, the demon will come back to his kingdom and he would destroy everything. At that point, he forgot that Wali cannot be beaten because he gets 50% of the other's powers, right? But again, he was afraid. He was not thinking rational. To safeguard his kingdom, he locked the opening of that cave. Sorry, not I was saying cage, the cave. He locked that cave with a huge rock and he sealed it. Again, look at the stupidity. If that demon was powerful enough to kill Wali, could he not come out of that, breaking that door? He did not think anything. That's what happens when, if you are drowning, if a person is drowning in the water, even a small wood piece, he or she grabs to that. That's the hope. Something I could find, maybe it will help me out. No more rational thinking. So Sugriva locked that entire cave, went back. And in Monkey's world, if the older brother dies, he can marry his wife. But if younger brother dies, the brother's wife is like a daughter to the older brother, so he cannot marry, he should be taken care of. That's the rule of the land. So Sugriva came back, he married Tara also, and he was the ruling the kingdom. For him, Wali was gone and he secured his kingdom by closing that. But Wali won over the demon. He came out. He saw that this was all locked. He broke that seal, came out, and immediately he thought that Sugriva betrayed him. Is it not what happens in our lives? Whatever we think should happen, whatever we think is the right, we do not even care to know what the other guy was thinking. We just we just assume everything. So Sugriva assumed that Wali was gone, so he locked it. Wali assumed that Sugriva wanted to take over the kingdom. That's why he sealed him inside. He went back. He married his wife. That's where the animosity started. Had both brothers talked to each other in amicable manner, things could have been better. So, one set of brothers, they were always close to one another, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna, and they were saying, you are before me for everything. And when Rama was down, Lakshmana was cheering him up. When Lakshmana was down, Rama was cheering him up. When Bharata got the entire kingdom and he did not want to have it, Rama was convincing him to take the kingdom. On the other side, these two brothers, they were very close to each other. They were very loving, all of that. But just because of one misunderstanding, they parted and they wanted to kill each other. Wali was after Sugriva to kill him. He returned to the kingdom. He beaten Sugriva so badly that Sugriva has to run away from that place. We'll see in the future when Rama meets Sugriva, Sugriva tells him all the places in this on the earth He says even the farthest place in the north, farthest place south, west, east, every place. He says, you go here, you will see this place, you will from there, you can go this one. Then Rama asks him, how do you know all of these things? He said, I was running away from Wali. Wali was just following me, so I was trying to find a hiding place. That's how I explored this entire earth. So Wali was after him, but again, the time, the nature gives a way out for us. When we think all the doors are closed, all of a sudden there will be a small hole that you see, and that hole may lead you to another path. While Sugriva was running away from Wali, one day another demon called Dundubhi, Dundubhi, that guy was very powerful. He comes and calls Wali for a fight. The person, any person, the way we think, the way we behave. Dundubi, by nature, he was he was powerful, but by nature, a powerful person will have the ego. He could have gone to Wali and then said, okay, you are powerful, I am powerful, why don't we be friends? If our thinking process is making friendship everywhere, we make friends everywhere. Instead, Dundabi went and called Wali. Come on, I heard you are such a big warrior. I'm here. Let's fight. I've been killing so many people. I've been fighting so many people, but I never had any person, anyone matching me. And for me, it's inconvenient. I want to find someone with whom I can fight. Wali goes, he kills him. He kills him, and after that, he was so outrageous, he kicks him, kicks his dead body. Wali kicks Dundubi's death body. That goes and falls in Matanga Maharshi's place. Remember? Matanga Maharshi is the guru of uh, Shabari. And Shabari was telling how peaceful the place is, how all are living together as friends. By kicking Dundubi's dead body into this place, he removed the equilibrium there. With a huge sound, it fell and the blood everywhere. That's when Matanga Maharshi got so angry. He immediately cursed Wali that because you have thrown that body here, if you enter my place, you will die. Nature has given an opportunity for Sugriva to be safe, and he started living in that Rushyamukha mountain, so that which is part of Matanga Maharshi's place, so Wali can never come there. Of course, he does not have his wife, but he was with his own four ministers and rest of the monkeys who believed in him in that place. In our lives also, if we think that we are almost at the dead end, remember what happened to Wali, to Sugriva. Sugriva went, he ran across the earth. He could not find any hiding place. So he could have thought that, man, I'm reaching my dead end. I don't think there is a place to go anywhere. But all of a sudden, nature has given him an opportunity, and he started living in that place peacefully, which is not too far from Wali's place. And so believe that. Life will never stop giving us opportunities. It will give at least one, which leads to multiple opportunities. With this background, Sugriva tells Hanuma that fine, you can take any form you want, you have that boon. So, why don't you go as a human being and talk to them? Understand or learn who are they, what is their motivation to come here, and first of all, are they our enemies or our friends? You are saying that they may be our friends. I'm saying that they are enemies. The only way, most of the time, we argue. If someone is not agreeing with our thinking process, we argue with that person. Instead, remember this Sugriva is saying that, fine, Hanuma, you are saying that they are friends, I'm saying they are enemies. Let's find it out. There's no point in arguing because both of them do not have proper information. So he asked Hanuma to go as a human, in the form of human being, not as a monkey, talk to those two people and get the reality. If they are enemies, give us some indication so we'll just hide ourselves. If they are friends, bring them here. Let's start friendship. On the other side, Rama already knew. Kabanda told him that Sugriva is there. He is the best person to have friendship with, and he is capable of searching Sita. So on one side, Rama already knows all these things, and so he is not afraid. Imagine if Rama did not know all of that, and all of a sudden saw Sugriva, Hanuma, all of them, he would be suspecting that these guys have uh, taken Sita, or these guys are Ravana's people. In fact, when they were searching before meeting uh, Jatayu, they saw a chariot, a broken chariot. They saw a chariot driver dead. They saw a lot of evidence that there was huge fight, and they saw Jatayu with all the blood covered. Immediately Rama said, Jatayu, this is the one who brought Sita, and he must have eaten Sita. I'm going to kill this guy. Immediately Jatayu says, Rama, please, please save me. You don't need to kill me. I actually fought Ravana. So, in the absence of proper information, we cannot take right decisions. And when we are taking some bad decisions or emotional decisions, stop. If Rama could get to that level, what did we learn? Immediately Lakshmana says, no, Rama, please wait. This does not seem to be a war between huge people, huge armies. I see one person died, and then one chariot is broken, and lot of other arms also broken and dismantled. I can see all of that. That means there must be a fight between two powerful people. He calmed him down. So, always in our life, if we are emotionally charged, we need a person next to us who is balanced, who can bring our emotions down and make us think rationally. So, because Rama already knew about Sugriva, he was expecting someone to approach him. He was mentally prepared to make friendship with that person. Whereas Sugriva, in the absence of the knowledge, in the absence of information, he started thinking about Rama and Lakshmana as enemies. In our lives also, the same thing happens. If we do not know someone and the person is entering our home or entering into our property, immediately we get alerted. We just say, stop, I have gone. let's not go that way. When I moved to US, the major difference I've seen is in India, every relationship starts with suspicion. If anyone smiles at us, immediately we say, why is he smiling at me? Does he know me? If he does not know me, that means he's trying to approach me. He needs something from me, or he's going to con me. Whereas here, I experienced that, of course, in 99, I'm talking about the days have changed now. We do not have trust that I experienced in 99 or beyond. This is a country, this is a land of opportunities where you come in, you based on your abilities, you can flourish here. People trust. If you say, I can do this, they would give an opportunity to the person to do, to prove. They never asked me for my certificates. When I said I can do this job, they interviewed me for 45 minutes. Then they said, okay, come over, come on board, prove yourself. If not, we'll let you go. That's the trust. Over the period now, the trust has been misused by a lot of people. So, trust is gone. We used to have that return policy, right? Best Buy everywhere. People, if the main policy behind the return policy, my main thinking behind the return policy is they are saying my product is the best product, and I believe you can use it and you will love it. Just in case you do not like it, just in case it is not for you, we do not want you to have that feeling, oh, I bought this, I should have thought second time. Instead, buy it, try it for a month or so. If you are not satisfied, you can return that. That also makes decisions easy. People can take decisions right away because they know there is a possibility of returning it. Whereas in India, I remember I bought a toy, car toy for Prakash, went home and saw that the color, entire color was peeled off. It was not of good quality. Within half an hour, I went back to the store and then said, hey, this is like this. That guy was not ready to take it. He said, I'm not going to take it. I don't trust you. You must have spoiled it. And once sold, we don't care. We don't take it. And there is no return policy in India. If at all is there, people will misuse it. The same thing happened here. Over a period, I would not call Asians or no discrimination at all, but people started thinking that we can take advantage. I met some people who said, "Oh, anyway, I'm going to India, going back to India. I'm here for 3 months uh, project, so I'll buy TV, buy everything, and at the end of the third month, before going back to my country, I will just return it. It's free entertainment, free usage of that." How good is that? And it has gone to such an extent, someone bought a suit for his marriage, went back to his country, married, came back, returned the suit. Those are the acts that remove the trust, and I definitely see major change in trust within US also. That's why Best Buy said 15% restocking fee. During that period itself, I bought a camera, SLR camera from Costco. I had another camera in India, Canon, and it was very good. I was having experience in photography. I used to do a lot of experiments also with photography. So I took pictures with this camera. It was just blurring. It was the pictures were not very sharp, and just like I just came from India, right? So I never thought that I can give it back. and I kept it. Almost after 9 months or 10 months, once I was in Costco, I was just talking to that associate and then said, "Man, this is what has happened with me. This Canon camera, I was looking at the Canon camera and then said, I bought this model, this is not working well for me. I've hardly exposed two roles with that." Immediately, he took me to his manager and they said, "This guy has bought this camera and it seems he's not happy with it. What can we do?" Then he said, "Bring it back. We will give you full money." So after 10 months, they believed me and taken that camera back. But today, Costco says 3 months only return policy or 1 month only return policy. After that, there is no way. You may ask for support, but not this. What happened? Because that was misused. I want to give this information. If anything that you are returning to the store, what happens after that? The store has to repack it and safely send it back to the manufacturer. Manufacturer has to send that product through rigorous quality check, and if it passes the quality check, they can sell it as a refurbished device. The cost of sending it back to the company, verifying that the thing does not have an issue or does not have an issue, and they know that this was just intentionally returned even though there was no issue with that, and repacking it and trying to sell it as a refurbished. How much expenditure is going through this entire process? How can we make that intentional? How can we make use of that trust towards the consumer? But no one thinks about it. I remember there was one person, one guru came from India, and his followers were also with us. His right hand, his brother-in-law, he was saying, "Oh, I forgot my power supply for Apple computer." Immediately, the followers who were sitting there said, "Oh no, we have 1 month return policy here. We can buy one power supply for you and then you use it. You are anyway here for 1 week, so you use it, we'll return it." Immediately, I left that place. What kind of preacher are you if you're not following, if your right hand does not follow? Maybe the preacher does not know it, but his right hand knows. If the right hand is so close to him, he has not got the quality of the preacher if the preacher was very sincere. They went, they bought that uh, power supply with the intention of returning it within 7 days. That's where I said, I'm not following this person anymore. If the person cannot live on that person's principles, it's just fluffy thing. He's just talking to me that, oh, you should be living like this, but I will not live like that. And I'm not going to follow that person anymore. I sent an email to that person, that guru, saying that this is what has happened, and I wish you can because you have so many followers, please let them know the cost involved in returning a product, how much loss a company has to incur. The same power supply, when they returned, Apple cannot sell it as an original equipment anymore. It has to sell it at discounted rate as a refurbished piece, even though there was nothing wrong with that product. And on top of that, they have spent money on packaging, qualifying the product, and returning from the store to the factory. All of that. Unfortunately, that preacher has not taken it in the positive manner. He started blaming me across all his followers and asked them, his followers, not to entertain me anymore, not to connect with me anymore. Is it a curse or a boon for me? I thanked him because anyway I did not want to be in that community, and I was not ready to tell them that this your community is like that, but that community itself alienated me, and I'm very happy about it. So please make sure that never ever have an intention of returning a device which you are buying to take advantage of the policy. That's the trust. And once trust is lost, we can never get it back. It is very easy to lose trust. That's what here Rama trusted Sugriva because Kabanda told him. Sugriva did not know anything about Rama, so he was not trusting him. If there is no trust, there is no relationship. So, in the next week, we'll talk how Hanuma approached Rama. Can you approach an unknown person? How do you approach an unknown person? How do you make impression of on that person? How do you get information from the other person? Hanuma shows us. Hanuma approaches Rama in such a way, he creates that trust between them. And we will go in detail about that. And are there any questions? We'll just give one more minute. Any questions? Any suggestions? Not necessarily questions, suggestions. And when I say suggestions, I would like to tell you that when you perform something and when you are confident about it, do it. If you ask suggestions or what can I improve, lot of people give you improvement suggestions. Instead, always ask them, what did you like? So I would definitely ask you guys, what did you like in all these weeks of stories? Any sentence, anything will be very good. What did you like? What do you want us to continue? You don't need to say that now itself. You can send us offline messages also, what you liked, and then we'll continue to do that. May God bless you with everything you need to be happy. Again, anything consumed more than needed is poison. So take care.